first off, thanks everybody for coming. I want to take a few moments to individually talk about each of these students. To start out, I remember I didn't really start talking with the class the grade right underneath mine until I was in grade 6, when we all went out to outdoor ed and stuff. Since then, these grade 5s, as I would call them, Bo would call them, and some of the others, we'd always refer to them as the little kids, even when they finally made their way to junior high, and eventually into high school, and here they are today, the little kids. First off, congratulations for making it this far. Since going in order seems to be the theme of the night, we'll start with Christina. Now, I became co-coaches with Brian Salango when I was in my grade 10 year, and I remember saying, we need an amazing point guard, somebody who can handle the ball in pressure. So we scouted out Christina. She was insanely nervous, very scared, but when she would play, it's like she's been playing her entire life. She was phenomenal for us. She was a warrior, an amazing leader, and it was a pleasure to see how much she's grown as a player and as a friend, and definitely as a student. I'm sure you'd all love to have her in your class. Melinda, we've had so many wonderful conversations, especially with Sebastian, and so many wonderful times after school. I'm never going to forget how much you made me smile. You've always been there for me whenever I needed a friend to talk to, certain situations. You've always been there when I was a little upset, and I wouldn't show it around really anybody other than you. And you've grown up so much, and I'm so proud of you to see you here today. You've come so far, and I hope it doesn't stop. Tatiana. Now, we didn't really start hanging out until foods class with Selena, but every other day I'd stay very late after school waiting for my ride, and I'd normally hang out with Bree and some of our friends, and Tatiana was always there, just hanging around too, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? They go home together, is she related, sister, what's going on? We finally began talking. Since then, we've grown a lot together. We've got a special bond with one another. I remember going to Stampede with you. You still have my umbrella, by the way. I apparently owe her money for some reason as well. I believe I lost a bet, but $100 great. But you're a sweetheart. You've always been there to make the presence in the room more lively, more fun, more bubbly. You've always been there to make sure everybody was okay. I want to say you're like the little Miss Galdamis, because the two of you bring out so much in people. Everybody is just in a good mood, and they can't be upset when you're near. Thank you for that. Slavi? Now, the only times we really hung out was special fitness and fireworks out in Ghost Valley with Sean. Awesome, epic, manly times. I mean that in a very manly way. So anyways, what you showed me was a lot of dedication, motivation, self-motivation, and perseverance, especially in special fitness. You would always bring this high level of intensity that would allow everybody else to bring out the best in themselves. And that's something you shouldn't ever lose. Even now, you're sitting with such confidence, such power. It brings out the best in a lot of us, really. You bring out so much in people that it makes them want to try even harder, just so that way they can be better than you. Because you've set a bar so high, and that's just based off of special fitness. I can only imagine what you've done growing up with your classmates here. David. Now, I've known David since elementary. We've talked every now and then. One of my fondest moments was he and Kenneth coming up to me a few years back. We're in the lobby. We just got our new Pokemon games, and they were having problems catching Ho-Oh, a legendary Pokemon. I caught it for them with a great ball, I recall, in like 2 or 3 minutes, and we were so excited. We're like, yeah, this is sweet, let's go to the gym and play. So I said, sure. I hit the power button before saving. Yeah. So that's actually one of my most fondest moments with David, is just being myself around the kid. Being able to bring out my inner child and just being able to have fun with him. He brings out so much fun in people, especially in soccer. He's a leader, he's a warrior, and he brings out the best in a lot of people. He's a very great young man, a proper gentleman, and I've learned a lot from you. How to dress, obviously, a close second, I guess, to you. But how to act, how to be a proper gentleman, how to speak with a mature level. Jay, first off, love the bow tie, well done. You bring out, although I didn't get to know you as well as I know your brother, you bring out so much in people as well. You're a very strong leader, by the way. From what I've heard from everybody at Chinook, being SA president, basically running the show, props to you. You've done a phenomenal job, especially in helping this graduating class this year. You are an inspiration to a lot of us, and especially to a lot of the classes that are looking up. They're not just looking up to the class, but they're looking up to you individually to see how they can better themselves and how they can also make a contribution to the school. So thank you for that. Bruce, now, I remember our first and last conversation we had. Our first conversation was about an anime show that he and I really enjoy, Dragon Ball Z. Our last conversation was more or less the same thing, Dragon Ball Z, just earlier today. Now, that just goes to show that a gentleman of his standard who can be extremely and well-educated, very well dressed, and a very strong leader for all of us as well, he still knows how to have fun. He can still be in a child. What I mean by that is, don't get so caught up with your work, with your, I know the teacher's going to hate you with this, but don't get so caught up with your work, with your school, with these priorities. Remember to have that little time for yourself, to be a kid again, to be happy. Find your little outlet, go to that, and let off some steam. He's a perfect example of that. He has done so much in his life already, and I know he finds time to just have time to himself, to enjoy time with himself, and because of that, he's sitting where he's at today. So congratulations. Kim, I have one very special memory with you. This was the gold medal game of my coaching career, my only coaching season. We were playing, who were they? Waldorf. And I remember it was our last time out, I believe. And I was a little upset. I was really wanting the team to win. I remember that I said this, and I quote, when the team came together, I said, I have nothing to say to you guys. Immediately, she took the stage. She formed the troops. She rallied the troops. She got their game faces on. She had their adrenaline rush going. She had them all excited again to finish this quarter strong. We started that season being blown away at home by Waldorf by like 40 points. We finished the season as silver medalists because of her leadership. She was my captain. I don't regret naming her captain at all. She led the team. It was all her. I told her what to do. The girls listened to you. You are an amazing leader, an amazing young woman, and you're only going to achieve success in your life. Take these qualities that you have and keep them. Don't ever lose them. You're an amazing person. Tyson, now I was told one thing from you earlier today when I was at the ceremony, that when you came to Canada, you actually wanted your name to be Mike Tyson. And that's awesome. I love boxing. Unfortunately, there was a bit of miscommunication when you were coming, and so they named you Tyson Tyson. Because of that, I assume that Mike Tyson is a role model of yours. This just goes to show the ages and generations and time, I guess, because one of my role models growing up and still today is Muhammad Ali. And with that, Tyson, I want to leave a quote from Muhammad Ali with you before I will ask everybody to raise their drinks and have a toast to the graduating class. To you, Tyson, I leave this quote, and it's one of my most favorite quotes by Muhammad Ali. I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion. You mentioned earlier that you came in with little to no English, and here you are today, speaking in front of this beautiful group of people, speaking at your ceremony, and even singing at your school. I'm very proud of you. I wish I could have had the honor of knowing you, but you sound like an amazing individual, and I hope that you too end up like the greatest Muhammad Ali. Now, I will ask everybody in the building to please raise your glasses of your beverage, your juice, your water, whatever you may have, and toast to the graduating class of 2013. Congratulations, you are all very wonderful people. I'm so happy to see you. Cheers!